This is The Issue, and I am the Ghetto Man. Today's issue, corporate civil rights violations. Don't go away. We'll be right back. In the last few days, I've put out several videos dealing with corporations and why corporations cannot discriminate against a person based upon, their race, their religion, their political persuasion, sexual orientation. That when it comes to someone's civil rights, corporations, because they're creatures of the state creates them and controls their existence. In fact, they can't operate and do anything outside of their charter. That corporations are, in fact, an extension of the state. And they're not private entities, as people are trying to claim, that can go ahead and basically set up rules that discriminate against people. Well, anyway, this morning I was going through various different articles on the internet, and I came across a Breitbart article dealing with a 20-year-old individual who went to a local store and tried to purchase a rifle. And the store had a policy that they were no longer going to sell any rifles or ammunition to anyone under 21 years of age. Well, anyway, this guy's name was Tyler Watson. And I'm going to read a little bit from the article, and then I'll make a few comments. But this is really important because I think that most people who are dealing with the Google, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter purge that's going on are not understanding that this isn't just a corporations censoring people for their political views or whatever they want to discuss on the internet. That it is actually a civil rights violation and that we're dealing with discrimination, plain and simple. It has absolutely nothing to do with censorship directly, even though censorship is a result of what the corporations are doing. Anyway, I'm going to read from this article. It says the plaintiff, Tyler Watson, claims he faced unlawful age discrimination. Watson attempted to buy a rifle on or about February 24th at a Medford, Oregon Field & Stream store. It's called Field & Stream, which is a subsidiary of the Dick's sporting goods stores. Okay, Watson's suit was filed in the Circuit Court of Oregon for the county of Jackson, and it says a store employee refused to allow this man purchase a rifle, and he forbid him from even purchasing ammunition. He said he would not sell Watson any firearms, including rifles and shotguns or ammunition for any of the firearms, because Watson is under 21 years old. Okay, now this 21 years of age as being a requirement to purchase a rifle is not a law. The state law does not permit anybody from purchasing a firearm that's not 21. So what is happening is that the stores are starting to create their own law. And there's a term for this. It's called color of law. And that's when anybody does something and what they're doing violates a constitutionally protected right or a right, privilege, or immunity guaranteed under the Constitution. And what they're doing is they're saying that they can go ahead under color of law, that this is what it is. You're not 21, so you can't purchase. Even though someone under 21 in the state of Oregon can purchase a firearm, and there's no restrictions on that, the store has decided that it's going to create its own law and act like under color of law, that it has this right to enforce this 21-year-old requirement in order to purchase a firearm or ammunition. Well, Watson's suit alleges that Dick's policy violates Oregon law against age-based discrimination for people 18 years and older in places of public accommodations. And it's important to look at that. Public accommodations. This is what YouTube is. This is what Facebook is. They accommodate the public. And what they're doing is they're acting under color of law. They're saying that they have a right to go ahead and censor people for hate speech or bullying or whatever the case may be. And they can go ahead and preclude somebody from being able to exercise a constitutionally protected rights, whether it be freedom of speech or association or freedom of movement or whatever the case may be. The corporations are discriminating against them. Okay, getting back to the article, Watson also filed a separate suit claiming a Walmart store in Josephine County, Oregon, discriminated against him by denying him a rifle sale on or about March 3rd of 2018. As with Dix, the Walmart employee at the gun counter allegedly told this Watson guy that rifles and shotguns could not be sold to individuals under the age of 21. See, now he's making a claim that because of your age. Now think about this for a second. What if he said this? What if he said this? Let me read that again. He says, the Walmart employee at the gun counter allegedly told Watson that rifles and shotguns could not be sold to individuals who were black, who were Jewish, who were Christian, who were homosexual, or any other person. They decided that they are going to create an age limit, and then they're going to enforce it as though it is law under the color of law. Okay, this is what's going on. Now, when I saw this article, I said, well, this is a real good example of what I've been trying to explain to people in the last, I believe it's 4 videos that I've put out dealing with corporations. Corporations are creatures of the state. They cannot discriminate against somebody's life, liberty, or property, or any right, privilege, or immunity that's guaranteed by the United States Constitution. It's just plain and simple. But let me go on here. It says, in both of the suits, Watson alleges that the defendants, Dix and Walmart, not only discriminated, but advertised unlawful discriminatory policies by issuing a press release or other material stating that the defendants will no longer sell any firearms or ammunition to any person under the age of 21. Okay? Now, isn't that exactly what Google's doing? Isn't that exactly what YouTube and Twitter and Facebook are doing? They're even advertising. They're saying if you conduct any hate speech or bullying, and they're the ones that are going to be the ones that decide arbitrarily. That means that they decide what speech violates these policies, and these policies are clearly in violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And people who are being discriminated do have a cause of action under Title 42, Section 1983 of the United States Codes. And let me just spin over there. I'm going to read this to you. And this is what Title 42 of the U.S. Code, this is in Section 1983. It's called a civil action for deprivation of rights. Okay, you follow me on this? It says every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia, subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the United States Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for redress. Okay? This is what they're doing. All of these corporations, because they don't like guns, or they don't like what you're saying, or they don't like the color of your skin, and they don't like something about you, they are now starting to take it upon themselves to become laws unto themselves. Okay, let me see. I think that's about all that was in the article. Anyway, I wanted to just point that out to you because as we progress through this thing with Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we're going to start to see that more and more corporations are going to get bold, and they're going to try to do like Dick's and Walmart's are doing, and they're going to decide to say, well, they are going to create not just a corporate policy. They're going to create law. They're going to act as though the things that are policy of their stores are in fact laws that they can in fact enforce arbitrarily. And this is what our Constitution is to protect us from. And this is the reason why corporations have charters, and that they have, the state can go in and look at their books and records, and they can actually control who they can contract with. Every corporation that's out there, I don't care who it is, cannot discriminate against you for any reason. If anybody comes off the street that they are, like we said, corporations are presumed to be assumed to be incorporated for the benefit of the public. In other words, they're there so the public can benefit by it. So how can somebody who's of proper age, there's no restrictions under law to buy a firearm, walk into a store and then have somebody tell them that you're not old enough because we've decided that you're not old enough? And like I said, when they do that, there is no difference than if they say, well, you can't come in here because this is our corporate policy that we don't serve black people. We don't sell them guns, okay? Or we don't sell Jewish people guns, like I said before. Please, I can't stress this any further, or any more. You have to start to understand how the law works, so that when a corporation is doing something like Facebook and some idiot comes up and says, well, it's a private business, they can go ahead and contract and do whatever they want. That may be true in a real private business, one that is not under some jurisdiction of the state or the United States government, meaning that they're a juristic person, one who is subject to operate under a license. And as we discussed before, a license is to do that which would otherwise be illegal. So once somebody applies for a license, or once somebody is incorporated or becomes some other juristic person under the law, then they are not acting as a private company. Because once the license is involved, or the charter and the corporation is involved, it changes everything about this private thing. There's certain things that you cannot do. So what I suspect I'm going to see here, or what we're all going to see here, is that people are going to start to realize that we're not dealing with just people who are, saying they have rules that you can't say certain things or do certain things in their forum. We're going to start to see that people are going to start suing these people, because all the corporations are doing is they're trying to circumvent all the anti-discrimination laws that we have in this country. Everything we've worked for to make sure that when people go into a business, that they're not going to be discriminated against. I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and please share.